timely. I welcome you all to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Let me begin with an important announcement and a sort of a curtain raiser that to the visit of the Prime Minister of Pakistan to Iran and Türkiye. The Prime Minister, His Excellency Mr. Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif, will undertake an official visit to the Islamic Republic of Iran and the Republic of Türkiye from 3rd to 5th July 2026. He will be accompanied by the Deputy Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar, and other cabinet ministers and senior officials. Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif will travel to Iran first to participate in the funeral ceremony of the late Supreme Leader, His Eminence Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei. The Prime Minister will convey condolences on behalf of the people and the government of Pakistan to the Iranian leadership and the bereaved families, while reaffirming solidarity with the brotherly nation in their hour of profound grief. Prime Minister will also proceed to Istanbul, Türkiye, at the invitation of the President of Türkiye, His Excellency Recep Tayyip Erdoğan. He will hold discussions on the entire gamut of the bilateral relation with a special focus on giving impetus to bilateral trade and investment cooperation between the two brotherly countries. The leadership meeting will also reflect on issues concerning regional peace and security. During his stay in Istanbul, the Prime Minister will also address a business conference being hosted by Pakistan to spotlight Pakistan's trade and investment potential in priority areas, including the SEZs, energy, trade, IT, and privatization sectors. The conference will bring together leading Turkish businessmen and investors alongside senior officials, dignitaries, and other distinguished participants from the business community. The Prime Minister's visit to Iran and Türkiye reflect Pakistan's deep-rooted historical, cultural, and fraternal ties with the two brotherly nations. Moving on to the Iran-US standoff and the situation in the Gulf region, Pakistan has stepped up its diplomatic engagement with key regional and international stakeholders, as well as the principal interlocutors, to facilitate earnest follow-up and implementation of the Islamabad MOU between Iran and the United States, in line with the joint statement between Pakistan and Qatar issued at Bergenstock on 21st of June. In this regard, Pakistan and Qatar engaged with the relevant parties in Doha yesterday and held separate meetings with the US and Iran negotiators in Doha, and these culminated late hours tonight, in fact, well today into the morning. I would like to highlight three specific points. One, about these Doha talks. One, there was positive progress made on issues related to the different aspects of the Islamabad MOU building on the Lake Lucerne summit. Two, parties agreed to continue discussion over the coming period. And three, next meeting to be set at the earliest possible time following the funeral procession of the former Iranian Supreme Leader. So we'll continue to play a facilitative and mediatory role in the negotiation process along with our Qatari partners. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar also continued with his high-level consultations and telephone conversation, a series of which were held this week with the foreign ministers of Saudi Arabia, China, Bahrain, Iran. He also spoke with the British Foreign Secretary and the European Union's High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy. Ladies and gentlemen, you all covered the seminar that was held at Jinnah Convention Center yesterday, titled Indus Water Treaty, an Instrument of Peace and Regional Stability. There was attendance from political leaders, legal experts, international scholars, members of the diplomatic corps, civil society, and of course The media was also present there. The participants in general called for upholding the treaty. They rejected weaponization of water and urged to settle disputes through established legal and diplomatic mechanisms rather than unilateral actions. They warned that any attempt to deprive the country of its shared water would have profound consequences for regional peace and security. The Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar also spoke on this occasion, and his media covered his statement. The statement is also available on the website, but let me just recall that he said that the six-decade-old Indus Water Treaty could not be suspended or terminated under any pretext, and this is, the abeyance is quote-unquote illegal, unilateral, and without any basis. And he added that Pakistan unequivocally rejected this so-called abeyance. Pakistan also, let me add that Pakistan also rejects India's attempt to invoke baseless allegation of terrorism as a pretext for placing the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance and obstructing the lawful flow of the Pakistani shares of the Indus waters. The real issue is not terrorism. Let this be very clear. The real issue is not terrorism. The real issue is the growing disposition within the Indian leadership to treat shared international river system as a strategic asset that can be controlled, withheld, or diverted at will. This mindset of unilateral appropriation is fundamentally incompatible with letters and spirit of not just the international law, but also the Indus Water Treaty itself. Water is not a tool of coercion or political pressure. Any attempt to deny Pakistan its legitimate share of Indus water constitute a clear violation of the international legal obligations that India has undertaken and undermines India's credibility of its commitment to a treaty-based relationship. Moving on to safe arrival of 22 crew members that were Iranian crew members of a marine vessel. The DPM Foreign Minister made this announcement about the safe arrival of 22 crew members in Karachi. They were from Iran and basically were handed over onwards. Pakistan will continue to facilitate the early repatriation and of these Iranians held, on different ships who have been interdicted. And the total number of Iranian nationals repatriated through Pakistan is now over 70. On 29th June, ladies and gentlemen, the United Nations Special Envoy to Combat Islamophobia, Mr. Miguel Angel Maritonis, called on DPM Foreign Minister Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar. He commended the special work being carried out by the Special Envoy to address the challenges posed by Islamophobia and expressed Pakistan's full support for his mandate and hoped that early finalization of the UN Action Plan to combat Islamophobia would provide the necessary framework for combating Islamophobia nationwide. You would recall that this appointment of Special Envoy was indeed a Pakistan's initiative at the UN General Assembly, which the UN General Assembly adopted, and now the Special Envoy is functioning. Let me very briefly touch on the Operation Ghazab Lil Haq and Azm-e-Istehkam following the recent terrorist attacks in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Balochistan, Karachi, and elsewhere. The security forces launched intelligence-based operation under Operation Ghazab Lil Haq, and on 28 June, 4 terrorists, including a high-valued Khawariji commander Khan Farosh Abul Zabal, along 3 other terrorists belonging to the Indian proxy Jamaatul Ahrar, were killed in Bajaur. Pakistan reaffirms its commitment to eliminating terrorism while ensuring national security. Pakistan has always strived to maintain peace and stability in the region region, and at the same time, we will not compromise on the safety and security of our citizens, which remains the highest priority. So in the same vein, on the 29th June, the Afghan Charge Affairs was summoned to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and a strong démarche was issued regarding the Karachi terrorist attack. A similar démarche was handed over by Pakistan's Ambassador Ubaidur Rahman Nizamani in Kabul to Afghan Ministry of Foreign Affairs. These démarches were issued in light of the fact that Afghan nationals, including one apprehended alive, participated in the terrorist attack, proving yet again that Afghan soil and Afghan nationals continue to be used to orchestrate terrorist attacks inside Pakistan. Moreover, the Interior Ministry has issued a directive to immediately arrest any Afghan national found residing in Pakistan without a valid visa or resident document, and we will earnestly implement this. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan's membership to the International Olive Council. This is an important body of olive-producing countries to which Pakistan has joined. Formally, we took our seat as a permanent member of the International Olive Council for the first time during the first 123rd session of the Council held in Lisbon, Portugal, marking a significant milestone in the country's growing olive sector. The Minister for Food and National Security and Research, Rana Tanveer Hussain, led a Pakistani delegation to the meeting, and following Pakistan's accession to the International Olive Council, we were invited to participate in this session. This council comprises 27 other olive-producing member states, and we look forward to conducting what we call the olive diplomacy from here on, basically enhancing the production of olive and making it exportable commodity for our growers. And this will be an important addendum to our economic sector. So with these remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I'll conclude my opening statement and open the floor for any question answers. Ji Paracha Sahab.
Thank you so much, Excellency. I have questions about India and Pakistan, sir. My first question is that yesterday, in pursuance of 2008 Consular Access Agreement, the lists of the prisoners were exchanged. But I really found a discrepancy in a way that India handed over a list of 439 Pakistani prisoners in their jails. But Pakistan maintained that, in fact, there are 753 Pakistanis detained in Indian jails. So what about these around 100 and so Pakistanis languishing in their jails, which are unaccounted even? My second question about the India-Pakistan relation is that over 100 eminent personalities from India and Pakistan, 61 from India and 56 from Pakistan, and even from Pakistan, Honorable former Foreign Minister Khurshid Mahmood Kasuri Sahab, or Excellency Shamshad Ahmad Khan Sahab, or Ashraf Jahangir Qadi, and from there, 3 former Chief Ministers of IIOK, they have written letters to both the Prime Ministers for dialogue, normalcy. So how Pakistan responds, or India should respond to the voice of these people? And my third question, brief question, is whether a seminar on Indus Water Treaty can ensure release of Pakistan's due water share and Pakistan can be preempted from being converted to a barren land without water. Thank you.
Let me answer this. We'll take the other questions as they come. First of all, on your questions about the list of prisoners, yes, I did see your tweet titled discrepancy. As you know, we have seen this. You have seen this. We handed over a list of 753 Pakistani prisoners to India yesterday. The list is meticulously compiled and maintained by the ministry and our mission in New Delhi. It documents all reported cases of Pakistani nationals detained in India including those identified through newspaper reports, notification from families, and information received from official channels. This is the list that exists. We pursue each individual case through its various stages, including the provision of consular access, confirmation of nationality, and eventual release and repatriation to Pakistan. While I cannot speak to the methodology used by the Indian side about how they prepare the list of Pakistani prisoners, we consider our list to be authoritative, authentic, and it's an authentic record of Pakistani nationals detained in India. The government of Pakistan will continue to take all steps possible to secure the early release and repatriation of Pakistani nationals detained in Indian prison. And in this regard, our dialogue through usual diplomatic channels with India will continue. On your second question about the letter of eminent personality, these are private individuals. They are fully competent to write anything. The government of Pakistan and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we neither endorse nor reject, and we do not have any particular comment to offer on it. The Indus Water Treaty Seminar basically, as I said, was an important forum to take into account the legal foundation of the treaty itself, the salience of the treaty under international law, particularly under international water law and management of transboundary rivers. And it underscored the wider dimensions of the Indus Water Treaty, which first of all is its hydrological dimension. The second is its dimension as an issue of human rights and humanitarian issue. You know, the river waters emerge from emerge or have a major catchment area in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. So it has that dimension, and what was highlighted was also its dimensions in terms of peace and security, the wider implication of the blockade of this treaty and its implications for the regional peace and security. This added to the repository of knowledge that we have on this subject and the discourse that is available on this subject. So in that sense, the seminar was immensely enriching. And as far as your comment about the converting Pakistan into a barren land, no country can do that. No, not India, not any other country has power to do that. And I don't think we should talk in the sense of barrening Pakistan. Mashallah, we are strong enough to prevent any catastrophe of this nature to happen. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much. Indian spokesperson has alleged yesterday that Pakistan, a place named Farrukhabad, a Gurdwara of Sikhs, has been demolished by some unknown persons. I wish to have your comment and confirmation about this information of Indian spokesperson. And incidentally, this has come from a country where the mosques are being demolished or being converted into the temples forcibly. Thank you very much.
Yes, I saw that statement by the Indian External Affairs Ministry. We have ascertained details. This was a Gurdwara which was not practiced for worship anymore. There were no Sikh community, I understand, in the vicinity that would use Gurdwara for its religious purposes. So accordingly, this facility, this building was under private tenancy. The structure was old, in a dilapidated condition, and posed a potential risk to human life surrounding private property. And surrounding private properties in the vicinity of that building, they feared that the building might collapse in the upcoming rainy season As you know, there was an incident in Lahore as well, so there was a fear in the community. And as a preventive measures, the tenants initiated the work on this on the two section of this 7-part Gurdwara, and on 24th June. And I must underscore that this action was undertaken without the permission of the Evacuee Property Trust Board, ETPB, and in violation of the ETPB bylaws. So accordingly, the immediate remedial action has started and was taken to address the situation. The board halted the tenants' unauthorized work on the same day on June 24. They had, some building was affected, but the larger building was prevented. The tenancy and the lease was cancelled, and the tenants were directed to vacate the building. We would ensure that, you know, the building stays, and perhaps some renovation work is also possible. Regarding the other part of your question, it is deeply ironic that a country whose own record of systematic discrimination against prosecution of and prosecution of religious minorities, Muslim, Christians, Sikhs, Dalits, and others, has been widely documented by international human rights organizations, independent experts, and global media as well. And they have chosen to lecture us on an issue which was often of a very administrative nature. There was no mob which was destroying Gurdwara. There was no, and it was not licensed by the government, unlike in India, where these kind of activities take place under state patronage. So this was an individual act of few individuals, and the law is now taking remedial measures. So instead of pointing fingers elsewhere, India would do well to confront the grim realities in its own border under state patronage, the continued targeting of Muslims and other religious communities, and this targeting licensed by a BJP-led Indian government through communal violence, attacks on places of worships, discriminatory legislations, extrajudicial demolitions, inflammatory hate speech, and misuse of state institutions, and so on. These kind of actions reflect deeply troubling trends within India, and India should address those instead of raising an issue of administrative nature about Pakistan in an attempt to mask its own illegal action. So, and India, we would urge India to take urgent, credible, and verifiable measures to protect fundamental rights and freedoms of minorities, particularly Muslim, Christians, Dalits, Sikhs, Adivasis, and others. Thank you so much.